How's it going, everybody? Welcome to the channel. As always, if you enjoyed today's video, don't forget to hit that like and subscribe. It helps out, means a ton. You guys get plenty of fun stuff, not just Choujin X. We cover plenty of manga here on the channel. So, getting into it, we got chapter 11 today, and I like what Ishida's doing with Shiozaki's character. I think he's going to be very well developed, and yeah, I like him so far. So, we pick up with him, and he's making his way to this abandoned-looking kind of warehouse, garage, something or other, on the outskirts of Minami City, and this is within the Yamato Prefecture. We also get told that the Yamato Prefecture is split into northern and southern halves, with the radio tower in the middle being kind of the barrier between the two. Anyway, the affluent, the rich, the wealthy, the higher class, even the middle class live in the northern section, while the poverty-stricken and lower class reside in the southern section. And Shiozaki goes inside this abandoned-looking warehouse to meet up with the other four people in that little bank heist group gang of criminal whatevers that, yeah, anyway, we already know they're kind of dragging him along, running him ragged, all this other stuff. So we cut back over to Tokyo and Ellie, and they're still searching for Shiozaki. They end up running into somebody who tries to extort Tokyo for money for running into them, even though they ran into him on purpose, as stated by Ellie. Turns out these are the guys that were going around, like, wearing the sheep masks in chapter 2, where Ellie was doing the whole, like, chasing thing. So, yeah, they are apparently fond after Ellie of their meeting her, and end up helping him out, because they ask him, like, hey, do you guys know where Shiozaki is? And like, yeah, he's famous in Minami. We'll take you to him. Come on. So they hop on the back of the bikes and get taken over to Shiozaki's house, or where he lives. So Tokyo and Ellie end up finding his apartment. They go up there, and they knock on the door. No response, so Ellie decides, you know what, I'll just smoke him out. She means this very literally. I kind of figured she did, because, well, she has smoke powers. I don't know why Tokyo didn't make that connection. But yeah, smokes out the room. Start hearing people coughing and whatnot, thinking they left something on, the stove's burning the house down. Shiozaki's little brother and sister end up opening the door. Tokyo and Ellie are a little bit surprised by this, me not so much, because we already knew he had two little siblings. So yeah, these kids thought they were debt collectors. Yeah, this is a rough life. Apparently the debt collectors can get pretty scary, and apparently one time they even dumped poop all throughout the hallway. That's just shitty. And I don't mean that to be a pun, but yeah, take it how you will. That is shitty though. But anyway, yeah, so we end up figuring out where Shiozaki is from. Tokyo and Ellie also figure out that Shiozaki is the only one paying the bills around there. Mom disappeared and they don't have a dad anymore. I kind of already figured that they didn't have parents around, or if they did, they were extreme deadbeats and like extremely like just not there. Whether that be physically or mentally, I don't know. Either way, I kind of figured they just didn't have anybody around besides Shiozaki. So anyway, after this, they go on and they go to wherever their brother and sister told them they were. Probably like, yeah, he goes to this warehouse down on the like eastern section of Minami. And okay, great, cool, awesome. Go back out, get back on the bike, say, can you take us to, oh yeah, I know where that is. And they just take a ride over there. So this is when we cut back over to Shiozaki and his little gang of dudes. And yeah, the gang has the idea that they're going to go to the northern section of the Yamato Prefecture where they can hit bigger scores and get more money. Shiozaki is against this, saying, one, it's more dangerous up there, it's tighter security, everything, and it's also not really a great time. I should probably be lying low and not using my Choujin powers. These guys get upset, saying he's acting like a star when he's just snot, all of this. And then they all turn into face-hand Choujin people. I know that might have sounded like a weird thing to say, but their faces and heads turn into giant hands. Well, I should say their heads turn into giant hands, because they still have their dopey faces on them. Now, even when I first saw these guys at the beginning of the chapter, I was like, okay, whether Shiozaki is a Choujin or not, he could just be a regular dude. He would still be the leader of this group. Let me tell you. Now, obviously, he would have to still somehow not be able to play baseball as a normal person, but making that jump in logic, yeah, he would be the leader. These dudes are like, they're dopey. They look stupid and weird and yeah, whatever. There's 4 of them and they all, I mean, have like probably 200-pound heads that they just start beating the crap out of Shiozaki with. I kind of wonder why Shiozaki wasn't like from the get-go like, no, screw this. I'm using Choujin powers too. This is not happening. Hell no. No way. And he didn't do that. He kind of just took a beating from these guys. And at one point, it got extremely gross, because if you go back and look at it, one of the dudes is like pressing his face up against Shiozaki's face. So he's like pressing his head against him. And his like thumb is going inside of Shiozaki's mouth and like touching his bottom teeth. It was gross. It was nasty. Can you imagine a thumb the size of like that? Just like, no, that was so gross, and I didn't even notice it the first time going through. But these guys activating their Choujin powers sends a little tingle through Tokyo and Ellie, because as we know, when a Choujin activates their powers, nearby Choujin can feel it. So they're like, okay, we gotta hurry, we gotta go. I guess they assume Shiozaki's probably using his powers for something, probably thinking he's committing a crime or something, and trying to be like, oh, we gotta get there and stop him before he does it. Not exactly. However, we see these guys, and they're pretty much finishing up, beating up on Shiozaki, well, jumping him 4-1. Granted, still don't know why he didn't use Choujin powers sooner, but anyway. They're getting done with it, they're being stupid and talking crap. We get a close-up on Shiozaki, then all of a sudden we see who originally I thought was Simon Kagomura? Simon Kagomura. The dude with, like, sword powers that, yeah, took out the snake girl. Anyway, I thought it was him at first. However, if you look at both of them, I actually think this is a new person, and I think they have longer hair than Simon. So, yeah, I think this is a new person. And I'm very excited if it is. If it's Simon, I'm still pretty excited, because let's be honest, that big-ass sword that he sent through the back of somebody's big-ass snake head was, well, big-ass hype. Anyway, so, yeah, it doesn't matter who it is, it's probably going to be hype when they show up, but we also see Tokyo and Ellie feeling this same ting. This is not the same tingle from when the dudes did the face thing. It's weird. Anyway, this is not the same one. This one is much more violent. This tingle is enough to send Tokyo and Ellie to the ground on their knees. Like, okay, oh, ow. Hey. Whew. They didn't say it was going to do that. They said a tingle. They didn't say the tingle got worse. Oh, Jesus. Okay. Yeah. Moving on. I've got some questions, but gotta go. Fine. Main character action time. Gotta go. So they go into this warehouse, and the first thing they see is, like, fingers jutting out of the ground in different directions, but they're just barely poking out. And it's probably pretty dark in here, and they're not right next to it, so they can't even really tell what it is. Ellie thinks it might be a bamboo shoot, because they, like, sprout out of the ground. Yeah, wrong. You wish it was a bamboo shoot. You wish. And then Tokyo also sees a very dark, very large figure holding what I assume is like a gear shaft or something. I say that because it is technically a shaft with what looks like a gear on the end. So I'm just going to call it a gear shaft. Anyway, and he says, "What's that?" I'm more worried about that than whatever the possibly bamboo shoot is. That thing is terrifying. And yes, it is, because it just turns around, swings on him, and sends Tokyo straight into the ground, leaving nothing behind but a little dark hole, like that big. Not big enough for a person to fit in. Hopefully, it is like that's the entrance hole, and it like gets a little bigger once you go down in there. Otherwise, Tokyo's dead, and it's going to be an Ellie story. And Azuma's going to be an Avenger like Sasuke. I don't know. Anyway, yeah, that's kind of terrifying. And we get to see Shiozaki's, what I assume is full Choujin form. I have no idea, but it's super cool, okay? He's got a cap on, and his head is the baseball, but he's got a mouth, and he's this crazy, like, laughing grin on, and he looks wild. Wild. And it was dope. And he's just sitting there saying, sink, and it's saying sinker Choujin. Win with the sinker is like multiple spots on the page. So if anybody knows One Punch Man, the monsters in that series, some of them were human before, maybe all of them. I really have no idea. I haven't seen or read enough of it. Anyway, early on, like very early on, there's a dude who turned into a crab monster. He turned into that because he indulged and loved and obsessed over crab so much that he became a crab person. I think this is obviously kind of similar to how these Choujin powers are working, and I just really love that. Shiozaki obsessed over baseball. Not in a bad way. It was his ticket to get him and his little siblings out of a horrible situation where debt collectors put poop in their hallway. Not a small amount of poop, a lot of poop in their hallway. Well, I guess at least it wasn't inside their apartment, but still, you're going to smell it either way. It doesn't matter at that point. Yeah, like it was a good obsession for him. And yet it turned him into this crazy ass looking monster. Wild. So cool. Loved it. Can't wait to see what happens next time. I hope that is a new person showing up, but even if it is Simon, that's fine too. It's going to be hype. I want to see another Choujin battle because so far those just seem like they have unlimited potential because, yeah, Ishida just made a power system where he said, okay, I can do anything I want. If I think of a form, an ability, a power, I don't care. I just got to say, yeah, it's a Choujin power, and you can't argue at all. And I love it. I absolutely love it. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I hope you enjoyed the chapter. I hope I'll see you next time. I'm out.